right, moving on Hot Seat today, we've got youth travel hostel brand goSTOPS that has raised $4.2 million in its Series A funding. The round was led by Bloom Ventures along with co-lead investor One Crowd. Other existing investors, including Mumbai Angels, Chennai Angels, Indian Angel Network, Lead Angels and Huge Ventures also participated in the round. And to talk to us about goSTOPS expansion plans, I have with me its co-founder Pankaj Parwanda. Pankaj, welcome to Startup Street and many congratulations on securing 35 crore rupees in your Series A funding round. First, tell us, how are you more than just a hostel chain? What's on offer? And then if you could talk to us about your fund allocation plans.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. More than a hostel chain, I think first for your viewers, let us define what a hostel chain is.
Yes.
Hostel chain is essentially the preferred mode of accommodation or the preferred hotel of choice for Gen Zs now traveling at scale across the country. What they prefer, the vibrant, youthful, colorful hotel, which is built for Gen Z, which is large in size. Gen Z and millennial combined, which we call the youth of India, is about 370 million in size. And today they take about 200 million trips unaccompanied by any other household member or for non-social reasons. And they're staying at hotels which are not meant for them.
Sure.
So we're building a whole category of hotels called the youth travel hostels, which are vibrant and colorful and are social in nature. And this sharing economy allows us to bring very high quality accommodation within the reach of the mass of the youth. So essentially these are social hotels and
the fund allocation plans. Yeah.
Yes, in terms of fund allocation, so we are expanding the fund allocation. The idea is to grow from our current 30 hostels to about 100 hostels over the next 2 years, which is go from our 2,500 beds to about 10,000 beds over the next 2 years. So we'll be adding about 60, 70 properties. The entire fund allocation should go towards capex and expansion of these properties, because otherwise on a company level, we are EBITDA positive.
All right, so you are planning a 4x expansion in terms of beds and locations, Pankaj. But how do you plan to achieve this in 24 months? And also, I believe you're in the process of finalizing debt partnerships to expand your war chest for the brand's expansion plans. If you could share some names, who are you partnering with?
So adding 60 to 70 hotels over the next 2 years is a very normal process for us, which means adding about 20 to 25 hotels this year and another 40 next year. It's quite easy for us to do. We essentially go after 20 to 50 room hotels and we transform existing hotels into hostels. It usually takes us about 30 to 45 days to convert a hotel into a hostel. So going at a rate of about 2 to 3 hotels every month, we should be able to achieve our target very easily. In terms of debt partnerships, since we are already EBITDA positive, we have the strong position to be able to forge partnerships with banks directly. And that's what we are evaluating today. I don't have names to give you, but banks is where we are evaluating debt partnerships to scale.
All right, Pankaj, if you could now elaborate on the tech upgrades that you're planning and how they will enhance the experience for young travelers.
So like I mentioned, hostels are for Gen Zs. Gen Zs want everything on their smartphone. And hence, essentially, if one was to reimagine hotels for Gen Z, it was going to be a tech-first hotel. So, for example, in a goSTOPS, you can't walk in if you don't have a smartphone. And smartphone and a mobile app on Android and iOS has been used to really strengthen the kind of 5-star core stay experience that we want Gen Z to have. So today, if you walk into a goSTOPS, you will do a full check-in process like a Digi Yatra on the goSTOPS app. The key to your door lock comes as a digital key, and you just go near the key and you swipe and a Bluetooth lock opens. Whether it's your own locker to keep your stuff safe in the dorm room, that also opens through the mobile app. If you even want your toilet cleaned, you actually raise a ticket and you hold the company accountable to make sure that the toilet is clean to your satisfaction in 15 minutes, because it's a digitally time-stamped event. So these are the ways that we are actually, or youth wants every single service to be delivered to them via tech. Now we are augmenting and actually building several social features on tech to make the experience more rounded. So whether it be choosing the next song that should play on the playlist in the common area, you can actually choose and figure out the next song, or you can actually vote together with other people in the common area and dim the lights in the common area as a majority of people. So it's about giving control to young people to be able to really make spaces their own.
And speaking of Gen Z, you know, the youth travel segment is clearly booming, with 70% of young travelers preferring hostels over hotels. What do you think is driving this shift, Pankaj, and how is goSTOPS positioning itself to meet this growing demand?
I think we're having a very individualistic lifestyle today. Work takes us to places. We don't have our college friends nearby. We make a few friends at workplace, and it's very difficult to be able to make travel plans together. And what you really need is the independence and flexibility to be able to travel at any point of time and yet have access to community wherever you travel. Hostels give you just that. Hostels give you a sense of freedom and independence that you can just pick up your bags and be at the bus stop, on a Friday evening and head to Nainital, Mukteshwar, or wherever your heart takes you, and know for sure that there are friends, new friends to be made, waiting for you right at that place.
Okay. You know, Pankaj, with goSTOPS planning to now scale to 100 locations in 2 years, how do you ensure that your operations and service quality stay consistent across such a large network of locations?
Yeah, so our entire thesis is reliant on the fact that Gen Z is a digitally native traveler. They don't need a phone or a human being to speak to. They're very happy to actually punch in a digital event on a digital workflow. So if we can actually condense the entire multi-point hospitality service into several digital events and workflows over residing between two mobile apps, which is the goSTOPS app, which every goSTOP consumer uses, and the GoCrew app, which every goSTOPS manager uses. So we can actually make sure that even remotely far away in Arunachal Pradesh, no Gen Z is actually taken for a ride, because every single time-stamped event is in our control, and we can see who is being taken for a ride at what point of time. So even if you place a food order, for example, on the goSTOPS app, and you suddenly go back to playing your guitar, we don't wait for 15 minutes before the food order doesn't come to you and you get angry. Actually, within 2 minutes, if the kitchen does not accept your order, it automatically escalates to our central 24/7 CX team, and we are working on making sure that your food order is delivered in 15 minutes, even before you realize that it's getting late. So that's the beauty of having it all tech. And GoCrew app basically allows us to be able to make this digital workflow very, very easy and accessible to manpower at scale, which means it is very simple and error-free to be able to deliver this service using a standardized GoCrew app. So we can actually hire people at scale, and we can have people who need very little amount of time to be able to get trained to deliver this service in a goSTOPS hostel. That's what our purpose is reliant on.
One final question, Pankaj. How do you see goSTOPS staying ahead of the curve and continuing to lead this segment in India? What is your take on competition?
So obviously, to be able to win in any particular industry, you have to deliver very good service. So delivering 5-star core stay at scale is what will give us right to win. And all of that is reliant on how beautifully are we able to digitize every single event and hold the entire company accountable towards delivering that service to the consumer, because that's going to spin off a full flywheel effect. And the other point is how strongly or how keenly are we listening to the Gen Z consumer and actually seeing them more as a person rather than just a consumer wearing fancy clothes, which is what most of the Gen Z brands are doing. So we actually need to be able to hear Gen Z, see hear their changing aspirations, hear their purpose in a brand, and be able to adapt.
All right. On that note, we'll have to wrap up our conversation. Many thanks, Pankaj, for joining us on Startup Street. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Well, on that note, it's time for us to head into a short break. Coming up on the other side, the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade partners with beauty major Estee Lauder to boost the beauty startup ecosystem in India. In an exclusive conversation with CNBC-TV18, Estee Lauder Group's president and CEO on the other side. Stay tuned.